It's a creepy feeling. It feels like big spiders on your back because you're just, I mean, it's so crazy now during like what's going on in the world to think about like a million people kind of. She gets to kiss John Kite, played by Alfie Allen. So we had this big sort of over the top, as you said, romantic kiss. And then he's like, go, let yourself go, baby. And I crowd surfed. I've never crowd surfed before, which anyone that knows me will not be surprised that that was a first for me. I have to say I felt super safe. Everyone was amazing, but it's a creepy feeling. It feels like big spiders on your back because you're just, I mean, it's so crazy now during like what's going on in the world to think about like a million people kind of gliding you across a crowd. But it was so fun. It was so kind of surreal. It felt like you were living in a dream. There was the amazing gospel choir and the lighting was so beautiful.
Back in my day, it was called Camden Palace, but I think it's called Coco now. It was mad because have been to that place for gigs loads of times. It was kind of crazy being in there and being the person on stage and also having Caitlin there on the first day and just having this whole, I had this choir behind me, this amazing choir, and there's kind of like this dreamlike sequence that happens within that whole setting. And it kind of goes in real life within the story, and then kind of going into kind of Beanie's sort of a dream, or Beanie's dream, sorry, Johanna's dream, just diving in at the deep end. And to be able to go and shoot it in that location for me was, yeah, it was quite nostalgic. Alfie and I had such a great time doing the film together. He's such a good actor, and I hope people get to enjoy his beautiful voice. He's such an amazing singer, and that whole sequence, both the real version of it and then the dream sequence, was Alfie's first day on set. So it was all like his first big day, and so it was really just exciting to be starting the John Kite storyline, and it was a joy. There was just some amazing scenes just shot literally on the first day of the shoot, and it was brilliant just being able to kind of form a bond with Beanie straight away. Our director directed the series Harlots, which is about a brothel, and so she was amazing because she just like sat me down right at the beginning of the process, even during the audition process, honestly, and she was like, you're in such safe hands. Like, the most important thing to me is that you feel so safe and so in control. She was like, I've directed many intimate scenes, like, you are fine, like, we're gonna do this together, I know exactly what I'm doing. And all of the guys were very respectful and very kind. And it is a very important part of Caitlin's novel, and so it had to be represented in the film because, teenage women are so rarely allowed to explore their sexuality, specifically so young. We often see boys doing it, but it's so rare that we see young women doing it, and so it was it's such a crucial part again of the novel, and so we really wanted to capture it in the film. And I really love the way that we did, because it's joyful, it's joyous, it's safe, she's in total control, she's having fun, but she does kind of get to try some things out. But it was very kind of, it was a unique day for sure. She has a wall in her bedroom of all of her heroes, and they speak back to her, and so we got all of these British legends and icons to come be a part of her God wall. Johanna, my character's God wall. I got to be physically in scenes with Chris and Emma, which was, I mean, just remarkable. I'm the biggest Bridesmaids fan under the sun, so Chris just was so sweet to me, and he just told me everything I wanted to know. And then Emma, Thompson, it's Emma Thompson, like, what do you even say about that? She was the most remarkable presence on set. She showed up wearing dungarees with a huge box of chocolates for the whole crew, and she just was like, hi, I'm Emma, and kept walking around giving people chocolate, and I was like, this is a legend. This is one of my most favorite writers and actors in the world, my inspiration, and she's the most down-to-earth, welcoming, warm person, and it was heaven. But as far as the God Wall goes, I was able to be physically there for some of them, but not all of them, just because of scheduling. But the ones that I got to be there for were so special, and it was also really fun to see the ones I didn't get to do in person because they were sort of new to me. But when I was filming them, I was just talking to a wall, so yeah. I didn't really need to, like, it was, I managed, I mean, I've been a huge Elbow fan for quite a long time. And obviously when they won the kind of Mercury Prize, for me, that was when I really kind of got into it. But to start off, I literally came off this other project that I was doing and then went into the studio with Guy Garvey, who is just like, Caitlin had actually given me him as a kind of, I mean, like I already knew about his music, but as a kind of like somebody to kind of, you know, model my kind of character on slightly maybe, was Guy and kind of John Niven, and then the lead singer of the Manic Street Preachers. Yeah, so I didn't really need to kind of go to any other kind of source for that, because the first night that I came to do the work or start the work on the movie, I was in the studio with Guy recording the songs for the film. So for me, I've never really been in a studio and recorded a song, especially with somebody like Guy Garvey. So I kind of got a taste of that straight away, which was brilliant. And then the next morning went and did the read through, and the song that Guy wrote felt so lucky to have such a beautiful song to sing, and wrote by him was incredible. And so yeah, just that experience of being in the studio with him, recording it, hearing it, you know, the finished product, and then using that or that kind of emotion the song kind of brought, and he brought to the song, into the kind of character and the read through the next day. It was great because everybody was there in the read through. I would say that she's got to answer that.
It was only half me, I have to say. I had an amazing stunt double named Josie, who honestly, like, we really did look a lot alike, and she was so incredible and so kind. We had such a good time throughout the film. She did a few different things with us on the film, and she did the split jump, and then I did the forward roll. So it was sort of like a two-step process, but just because I couldn't get, in case I were to get hurt, you know, it would stall everything. But Josie was amazing, and the stunt coordinator was a woman, and she was super awesome and incredible, and I felt super safe the whole time. It was honestly really fun. I mean, you know, it was, again, like another very important part of the film, because this film is a coming-of-age story, and you're not going to have a coming-of-age story about a young girl without talking about periods. That would be insane. So it was important, again, to include all of those typically taboo or awkward conversations or things to portray. And I think the brilliance of Caitlin in all of her writing and all of her work is that she you know, tackles them head on. She's so upfront, she's so bold, and it makes all women everywhere kind of in society just feel more comfortable and feel like, why are we sweeping these things under the rug? They're a part of life, and we should be exploring them meaningfully. And so what I love about How to Build a Girl is that there's always sort of a really comedic, welcoming tone around these subjects that make them kind of easier to witness and talk about.
I'm going to be a rock critic. I have an interview for the job. I'm Johanna Morgan.
Flipping now.
Once I got the role, I was talking to Koki, our director, and the whole producing team, and we knew instantly that I would have to go to Wolverhampton, because you just kind of have to go to the source. I mean, you all know better than me about how specifically regional British accents can be, but as an American, I went through a quick learning curve to understand, like, you know, you could be 8 minutes down the road from another town or another city and have a completely different accent. So I knew I had to go to Wolverhampton. So we had the luxury of time, luckily, which is so rare in kind of indie films, but they brought me to the UK about a month before we started shooting for 2-3 weeks. I worked at a store called the Shop in the Square. If you're in Wolverhampton and it's safe, please go visit it. I love those women. They were so kind to me. They opened up their shop to me, and I worked in the store every day. So Koki, our director, you know, she was like, you have to speak in the accent from the moment you walk in the door to start your shift, even on your lunch break when you go to order food, or you're buying something, or you're grabbing a tea or coffee, or like, you have to just speak in the accent the whole time. And I was in Wolverhampton, and I had only had about like 2-3 hours of coaching before I got there. So it was very nerve-wracking the first few days, but then once I sort of broke the seal and, you know, ripped the Band-Aid off, I loved it. The people were so kind, so warm. Like, I think the second week they let me work the till. It was very exciting for me, although I used to pray that people would pay with card, not cash, because your change is obviously very different to Americans. So I was like, it would take me a long time to give people change if they were paying in cash.
The script supervisor we had was extremely Welsh, and so I had a Welsh accent to kind of go by while we were shooting, so that was very, very helpful.
They didn't make it into the film, but they say, I'm just gonna say it in my accent, but they say Traabit. Do you know what that means? Like T-A-R-A-A-B-I-T, Traabit. It means like hello or goodbye, kind of like a introductory phrase.
You are the unstoppable force, so don't stop.
Obviously I had Caitlin to kind of walk me through where the character from the book was from, and also her kind of personal ideas of where the character was inspired from in terms of her kind of personal experiences. The research that Caitlin gave me was very kind of Richard Burton influenced, and so I got to kind of listen to some audio of him talking about Elizabeth Burton and some very interesting excerpts about that. So in terms of it being my own kind of voice, but also Caitlin also kind of let me make my own decisions on it, which was very very good, because it must be hard for somebody who's it's basically their baby, and then having that kind of taken away and kind of made into a sort of filmic version of what the book was. It was, she was really, really supportive of everything kind of constantly. So I was very, very thankful that I was very well supported in that.
I love kids and dogs more than anything. So when I first read How to Build a Girl, and it was like this big, delicious family with some babies and kids and then all the puppies and the dogs, I was like in total heaven. The old adage of like, don't work with dogs or babies, I actually had like the best time, specifically with the babies. They were heaven. I like used to be a caretaker, a nanny, so I was just like, let me hold the babies in every scene. And Koki, your director, was like, it doesn't make sense for you to be holding the babies. Like, the whole reason for the scene is that you're distancing yourself from the family. I was like, all right. But the dog, I have to say, Cleo the dog who plays Bianca, she was a bit of a rascal. She was not always as in line as the babies. The babies were much easier.
I also got to take my dog on set a lot of the time, so there was some sort of funny memories of him just sort of, sort of plodding around on set, which was really, really cute. It was nice. It was really kind of a nice sort of really lovely atmosphere while we were shooting, and that's kind of made the work a lot more. I mean, not that it wasn't enjoyable, but it was just, it's always great when everyone just feels kind of relaxed and it's all kind of jovial.
I love those women immensely. They're like my sisters now. So I think we would all be so excited. Nothing is, planned or anything, but we always joke about Booksmarter. And they would be in college. So what is that going to be like? We'd have to see. But I worship them. I mean, The Simpsons is truly, they're both iconic. As you said, they're such, like, they're institutions basically, and so to be welcomed into their worlds was really magical. The Simpsons was like my first sort of voiceover animation situation, and I was just so honored because it was really special. I got to bring my nephews who are huge Simpsons fans, so they came with me to record it, and then we got to tour the whole writer's room and the studio, and they were so welcoming to my nephews, which was so special. And then Grey's Anatomy, I am the biggest Grey's Anatomy fan, and I had sort of mentioned that, and it kind of trickled to them, I guess, and they welcomed me on, and I was in heaven. I was like a kid in a candy store. They were like, Beanie, do you want to come see this set? I was like, yes! And like running like from stage to stage, and I got to touch all the props and learn all the ins and outs of how they film the OR scenes, and everyone was so nice. It was heaven. I don't understand TikTok. Maybe if someone could explain it to me, but definitely not. I mean, I dance just with myself, but I don't understand any of the special dances.
I would say just do it for yourself. Don't do it as a performance piece for anyone else, and just do it for yourself, and then I think the best version of what you're trying to do will come out, because it will be the truest version of yourself coming into your work.
That's a great question. Caitlin is deeply inspirational, and How to Build a Girl is loosely based on her life, and it's the story of a very young girl from Wolverhampton who lives on a council estate with her large family, becoming this major writer and journalist in London, and making her way and finding her voice. And it's very inspirational to me, even though I'm older than the character, to kind of just live in that world of passion and inspiration and someone, living their dream. It's so exciting. I would keep it simple and just say there's only one you. When I was about the age of the character, like 17, I sort of coined this phrase little motto, inspirational phrase for myself, where I say they either want the bean or they don't want the bean, which is just like, people are going to take you or leave you, but you're the only person you have. Like, this is what you got to go around the world, and what a gift that is. And so just own and be thankful and grateful for who you are, and some people will love it and some people might not have the moment for it, and that's totally okay.